All right, let's get into it. Today, we're taking a close look at the Vivo Y29s 5G. Now, this is a phone that's making a pretty big promise in the super crowded budget market, and we're going to see if it actually delivers.
So here's the big question, right? Are you looking for that 5G speed, a phone that you can count on day in and day out, but you really don't want to spend a fortune? Well, that's the exact puzzle this phone is trying to solve.
And here it is, our main contender, the Vivo Y29s 5G. It's stepping into a real battlefield of budget phones, and it's trying to become the go-to choice for anyone who's, keeping a close eye on their wallet.
What's super interesting here is the focus. I mean, it's a laser focus. Vivo isn't trying to make a phone for everybody. The reviews are pretty clear. This thing is built for students, for daily commuters, basically for people who just need their phone to work. No fuss, no drama, just reliable performance.
Okay, so every budget phone has to make some choices, right? It has to decide where it's going to shine. So what are the main attractions for the Y29s 5G? What really makes it stand out in a crowd?
Well, it really comes down to three big things. First, a battery that just goes and goes. Second, a design that can actually handle the real world. And third, a display that just feels really, really nice to use. So let's break each one down.
First off, that battery. We are talking 5,500 milliamp hours. Now that number might just sound like a number, but let me translate. That is huge. This is the kind of battery that'll get you through a whole day of classes, endless scrolling on social media, and even some streaming on the way home, all without ever giving you that dreaded low battery panic.
Next up is how it's built. This phone has something called an IP64 rating. So what does that mean in simple terms? It means it's totally sealed against dust, and it can take water splashes from any direction. Look, it's not a submarine. You can't go swimming with it, but if you get caught in a bit of rain or spill something on it, you don't have to freak out. It's made for that messy, everyday life.
Now let's talk about the screen, because this is all about how the phone feels to use. It's got a 90 Hz refresh rate. That means the screen is updating itself 90 times every second, instead of the standard 60. And the result? Just doing everyday stuff like scrolling through your feeds or browsing the web, it just feels noticeably more fluid. It's one of those subtle things that makes a huge difference day to day.
All right, but let's be real. To get to this price, there have to be some compromises. It's just the name of the game with budget phones. So let's look at the other side of the coin. Where did Vivo have to make some trade-offs to keep the cost down?
This little table sums it up perfectly. On one hand, you get that super smooth display, but on the other, it's a standard HD+ resolution. You get that monster battery that lasts all day, but charging it back up is going to be a little slow. And yeah, you can take some great photos when it's sunny out, but the camera kind of struggles when the lights get low. Let's dive into each of those a bit more.
So, with the screen, it's a classic case of smoothness versus sharpness. You get that amazing fluid 90 Hz feel, which is fantastic. The trade-off is the resolution is HD+. Now, it's totally fine for watching videos and daily stuff, but if you put it next to a really expensive phone, you'll see it's not quite as pin sharp. So you're basically choosing a smoother feel over the absolute sharpest picture.
And it's pretty much the same story with the power situation. You get this massive battery that, seriously, can handle a full day of heavy use. But the trade-off is that when you do need to charge it, that 15-watt charging is, well, it's going to take a while. It's not that blink and you'll miss it fast charging from high-end phones. The bet Vivo is making here is that you'd rather have a phone that doesn't die in the first place than one that charges up super fast.
And finally, the camera. In bright, sunny conditions, that 50-megapixel main camera can snap some really nice, detailed photos, no question. But as soon as the sun goes down, or you head inside to a dimly lit room, the performance really drops down to just average. You'll get the picture, for sure, but it's not going to be as crisp or as vibrant as those daytime shots.
Okay, so we've seen the good stuff and we've seen the compromises. Let's pull it all together and figure out the final verdict. What's the bottom line here? Is this actually the right phone for you?
The conclusion from the reviewers really couldn't be clearer. They basically call it a reliable budget smartphone ideal for students and daily users. It's not trying to be a phone for a professional photographer or a hardcore gamer, but for the people it's actually aimed at, it seems to hit the nail on the head.
So just think about what's important to you. Would you rather have a battery that lasts all day or one that charges in 30 minutes? Do you care more about how smooth the screen feels or having the sharpest pixels possible? Do you need a phone that can take a few bumps? If you're sitting there nodding your head yes, then this phone was probably made with you in mind.
And really, that brings us to the final question you have to ask yourself. It's all about your priorities. In your day-to-day life, what's more important? Is having a battery that you know will never fail you worth giving up the chance to take a perfect photo at a dark concert or a candlelit dinner? The answer to that question will tell you everything you need to know about this phone.